Well, it's that time of year where it's time to check all the pipes and get all the pipes ready for the winter weather coming in. That's quite easy with the normal piping, solid piping. But one thing that you do notice in October and November is the amount of little insects that will get inside your pipe. Now, a lot of people flush these out, but I like to leave them in because they get flushed into the water over the winter and the fish eat them. If you see in here, I don't know if you can see this, being dark, you might be able to see all the little bugs inside the pipe there. I leave those alone. I leave them in water and I let them basically drop into the pond over the winter. So I leave them in the flow of water. As for this sort of piping, that is one of the easy ones that can split. So all the pipe outside of the water, like the one going down there to the UV filter, I will coat in a oil. Now, I like Sudocrem. Sudocrem is a very good covering. If you can't get Sudocrem, although of course it's expensive these days, you can use any form of oil with a glycerin in it. That will keep the pipes free from the frost and the bad weather. You can also use honey or cooking oil. I do all my joints as well. I like to do all my rubber joints and rubber connectors. I'll give them a thick coating of whatever oil I have available. WD-40 is a good one. You can spray them with WD-40. That will give them a coating and help them from cracking over the winter. But it's time to check all the piping. And like I say, this one here, I will just drop into the water flow. So that will go in here. So we'll put that in there. And all those little bugs in there. They'll go into the water. I'll just leave that on the top. And they will get washed out eventually, and they'll go into the water and the fish will be waiting down there for them and they'll get eaten. The next big question is your UVC. Do you leave your UVC out because it has water flowing through it? Or do you take the UVC off, give it a good clean and store it until the spring or summer? I tend to leave mine out because if I disconnect all the piping, that means I've got to join the pipes together, and to me that gives more chance of something in that join splitting. So I tend to leave mine out. You've got water flowing through it, so it's reasonably protected. If it does drop well below freezing, then I will cover it over with filter wool to protect it. I'll go around and check all my seals on the pond. I'll check all my seals. See, this one here's starting to flake a little bit, so I will rub some more sealing around that, just to give it that bit of extra protection. My air pump has been out here all summer. They're waterproof, so you don't need to bother too much with them. But I will be switching over to my other one, which is my winter one. This one will be disconnected and will be put into my shed. I'll be switching over to this one, which has been there all summer and has not been used since last winter. So this one will now be connected to the air pipes and will be turned on. Two reasons for that. One is it gets very hot in here. Even in the winter it's very hot. So my understanding is basically that I am picking up the hot air in here and pushing it down the pipes into the pond. I could be wrong in thinking that, and possibly by the time the air does get the pond it could be cold, I don't know. But that's what I think, so that's what I do every year. I just turn this one on, takes the air out of here, down the pipes, into the pond. I don't have much air on in the pond in the winter anyway. I will only probably have just one air filter on, and I will also turn down my water flow to basically just a trickle, because I don't want the warm water from the bottom being blasted to the top of the pond, getting cold and then sinking to the bottom, which will drop my pond by several degrees. So I will go over to one air pump and one air stone, and the air stone will be raised to just below the water by about 6 inches, so that it's only circulating the top 6 inches of water, which is the coldest water, and not circulating any of the hot or warm water at the bottom, therefore making the pond colder. I will also go through all my bags of spares should I need them. Should anything break or snap, I'll go through all my spares and see what I have, what I've used and what I still have available, and all the old bits and pieces in here. Everything's kept. I throw nothing away because they can be used for something sometime, and I have several bags of spares, all of them ready to go. These are the best spares I like, ones that just join together, because that gives you the ability of cutting your pipe in half and putting one of these between the two pipes and sealing it up, and that is a very good repair. So the pond basically will be going into its winter mould. The fish will obviously start to stop eating. Some of them have already stopped. The first week in November I will give the pond its last clean. I will get the hoover in there and clean everything out, and that will be set for the winter. quite often I'll turn off the air pump as well and turn off the water pump through the winter, and I'll just have the skimmer on, because the skimmer does produce enough oxygen through its little motor to keep the pond going. A skimmer, the average skimmer will produce enough oxygen in the water for about a 2,000 gallon pond. So really you don't need the water flow going through from the pump. The only time I'll turn the pump on maybe a couple of times a week, just to clean anything out of the bottom of the pond, any waste the fish may have made. And the air pumps, I have the one on, which I say is tied to 6 inches below the water, but if I can, I will also turn that off, depending how cold the water gets. Obviously the colder the water, the more oxygen's in it, so you don't particularly need a great deal of oxygen flow into the pond. So a little skimmer like this will work its magic and will keep working, no problems over the winter. And you're basically using it as a air filter. Okay, so subscribe if you can. I'll catch you in the next one, and I'll talk about what I put in the pond to kill the bugs off and the parasites off before I close the pond down.